So what's a girl to do when she comes across a bunch of pine cones on the ground? Collect them for crafting, of course. Hi there, I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit, and welcome back to our channel. We are huge fans of pine cones, probably because they're quite plentiful here in our area of Southern Ontario, Canada. And we have all sorts of different sizes and shapes of pine cones. We discovered a little while back that if we cut these down into little florets, they actually look like blooming flowers or even succulents when you paint them the right colors. So today I want to show you how you can take these pine cones and turn them into a beautiful craft that you can make to give as a gift for your own home or even to make and sell. We actually have a kit of these as part of our Creative Habit craft boxes, and I'll leave a link to that below in case you don't have these pine cones in your area of the woods. In our shop, we do also have assorted pine cones available, so if you wanted to try making these from beginning to end, you can do that as well. For this craft, you'll need a small framed canvas. You can find these at the dollar or even thrift store. 3 or 4 different types of pine cones cut into small pieces, a bit of dried green moss, acrylic paints in succulent colors, and I'll be sure to leave the names of the exact ones we use in the description below. And finally, paint brushes and a hot glue gun with clear craft glue. To start making the succulent arrangement, we first need to cut up the pine cones into small florets. So we like to use these branch snippers and just get in there and then cut little sections of the pine cones. We do have a whole blog post on how to prepare and sanitize your pine cones for crafting, and basically we like to bake them in the oven at about 220 Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes to get rid of the sticky residue and any little friends that are inside. Sometimes it's easier to paint the whole pine cone before cutting, so just make sure to let it dry and resist the urge to dip your pine cone into the paint to make it faster. The pine cones have a natural reflex inside which makes them close up when they get wet, so if you dip it into paint, they'll close up and then they'll get stuck there as the paint dries. So we've found that works the best is either to use a light coat of spray paint first or to hand paint them as we're doing here. Now the magic in this craft is in the color selection. If you look at pictures of succulents, you'll see the variety of colors that they come in. Usually they have different shades of green, sometimes a bit of lavender with pinks. And so here we painted the pine cones one color, and then you can use an accenting color to just add touches to the centers and some of the tips of these florets. There's so many possibilities for surfaces to make this particular craft. As I mentioned, you could use a canvas, an artist panel from the dollar store. I actually found these beautiful round frames from the thrift store, and so I painted one with a little bit of chalky paint and then distressed it to expose a little bit of that wood underneath. I placed my bit of cardboard backing back in there and actually had taken the glass out because we don't need that for this craft. To make the arrangement look a little bit fuller, I used some dried moss. This also you can find at most craft stores or at the dollar store, or go out to the garden and dry your own in the oven. And then we'll just place that down there and use the hot glue gun to set it all there. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to kind of fill in a little bit of that cardboard. Next, we're going to start positioning all those painted pine cone pieces on there and just try to get onto the cardboard so that they'll stick firmly, because if we just try to glue them to the moss, they're likely to fall off. Okay, so to make the arrangement, we're going to start with some of the biggest pieces and then work towards the smaller ones. So I've added this beautiful flip side of one of the pine cones right in the center as kind of the focal point. And now I'm going to go around there adding alternating sizes and colors of my pine cone pieces to build my succulent arrangement. And you want to try to pack them nice and tight, even have them overlapping a little bit, because succulents love to be packed together nice and tight. This craft is so unique to make and quite budget friendly. They are wonderful for crafts to sell at fairs or bazaars, especially around the holidays, for people that are looking for unique gift ideas. It's definitely something that you don't see everywhere and looks elegant and beautiful. So I'm just going to continue working my way around the surface. Obviously, if you have a larger surface, you're going to need more painted pine cones, so just keep that in mind. I fit in some of the smaller pieces into the little gaps and then even had it sort of spilling over onto the frame, a couple of the pieces. And that's how you can make these beautiful pine cone succulents. Let me know in the comments below if you think they do look like succulents. We've made it both on the round surface as well as on this square frame canvas that we painted white, as well as one that we've just stained. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting!